yo, what's going on, man? It is your boy, baby, JoeNoJoseph, and I'm back at it again with another one, all right? Today, man, we got the case of the dating game contestant? Serial killer? Hey, look, the fellas are back, and I'm hype, all right? Supposedly, this one's epically crazy, man, and I really can't wait to get into it. I don't know why I'm smiling. Honestly, I just really love diving into these videos, man. Make sure you guys get comfy. Let's fucking sit back. Let's figure this out, bro. I'm telling you right now, we've pretty much cracked every case so far. Every case so far, we've pretty much cracked, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I need to be hired on. I should be the greatest top secret investigator in history. Let me know what you think, all right? Let's figure it out.
I just can't believe it, man. Sorry I'm late once again. I know I can't, there's no excuse here, but honestly, mate, if you saw the way these trees were moving, they were just in my way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Shh, Sophie, don't tell them that. Damn, Sophie, don't tell them that. Shit.
Yeah, how are the trees moving?
Oh, they were moving hella shady.
Right, okay.
Fantastic news. We have got our very first serial killer case today. And this one is in fact solved. And we're here to talk about Big Rodney.
Rodney Alcala.
Big Rodney?
Dating game killer.
What Big Rodney?
It was one of the most famous dating shows ever.
Looking back, it is chilling to realize that this iconic show would unknowingly feature a remorseless killer.
Holly Shapiro was an 8-year-old little girl walking to school back in 1968.
I will always remember that face at that door. Very evil face.
Holy shit, this is a big deal.
Between takes.
Shorty was out here bopping. What? Oh, that's gonna be good. Oh yeah, we catching thoughts. That's what we do around here. We're gonna find out. Come on.
You might find him skydiving or motorcycling. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome.
Okay, all right, guys. Obviously, we know they figured out what happened. They already know what happened, okay? We're just getting the breakdown, okay? Fuck.
And it's time to meet a young lady for game number 1.
I'm sorry, but the title of this case just sounds cool.
Sophie?
Yep, 100%. Which means you should subscribe and turn on notifications right now for more cases like this every Monday, 6 p.m. Myself and Detective Freezy here.
Y'all better subscribe!
We'll be solving cases.
Y'all better subscribe right now!
We're gonna resolve them to double check they got it right. Talk to me a little bit about him.
Because that's what we
born
do.
in
We double check. We do the facts.
Currently 77 years old, convicted serial killer. Known to have 8 victims, but it is believed that that number could go as high as 130.
How did we just jump from 8 to 130? Oh my God! Literally, it's like Jeffrey Dahmer in a wig.
Did you say 130?
130. This man was playing darts.
I'm not too sure if it goes up to 130, but we do have at least 8 that we 100% know Rodney killed.
Yeah, you know, during his time was even compared to Ted Bundy. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is.
What are you talking about? I'm about to name my daughter Jeff.
Also a murderer.
Yeah, he was
Come on.
A terrible person.
That's Zac Efron.
But yeah, okay, fine. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about his background. So Chip, this guy actually had an older brother and an older sister. He also had a younger sister as well. Now he's, we want to.
You telling me right now you would name your daughter
Jeff? A lot
Jeff?
of the time, these serial killers.
Come on, bro.
What tends to happen is they are sometimes the product of their childhood.
Yes,
you know,
of
they have
course.
some terrible childhood trauma, all this sort of stuff. But what's weird about this particular case is that his childhood, as far as we're aware, wasn't actually that bad. There wasn't anything crazy that stood out to us. I guess the one thing that was quite interesting is that it said that his father left the family subtly. When I first heard that, I mean...
Wait, it's not a female? I thought it was a female. Didn't they say at the beginning that it was a little girl? And then they were like, I knew from that face that that little girl was evil or something like that, right? What happened? What happened? How did I lose track on this? I'm so lost.
I thought, yeah, this is a case of dad's gone to get the milk and not come back. But what actually happened, and no joke, his dad said that he went to get cigs and never came back.
I just remixed it a little bit. And
He
you gotta
did.
respect the creativity of
Oh,
that.
he killed
Yeah,
the
he was there
little
like,
girl.
the milk one's a bit cliche,
Gotcha.
but you know what? I'll say cigarettes this time. It is important to note that he was brought up in really good schools, like private schools, Catholic schools, and he was often described as like a kind, respectful boy. He had a pretty good upbringing, like, you know, he wasn't dirt poor.
Yeah.
Like I said,
call
yes,
it
he
Cat.
didn't grow up with a father figure, but ultimately, you know, besides that, everything was actually okay. When he was 11, his mum moved him and his two sisters all
There's
the way
gotta be
out to
Cat.
LA. You know what? I've noticed the Menendez brothers as well. They moved out to
LA's a
to LA.
dangerous place, man.
Swear.
Messing up minds.
It is. It really is. Now, at the age of 17, Big Rodney joined up with the U.S. Army, but he joined up as a clerk.
Okay.
So yeah, he joined up there, but shortly after he had a nervous breakdown, and so he left. Now, normal people would probably leave and just make their own way home via some form of transport. This guy decided to hitchhike his way all the way
Well,
home.
maybe he ran out of money. Didn't have any money. It's possible, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But look, ultimately, he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder by a military psychiatrist and was honorably discharged. So, yeah. It wasn't great for him, but it is important to note that actually in the hospital, the psychiatrist at the hospital, not the military one, actually said it was much more severe than just a nervous breakdown.
So he had quite a few problems going on.
Yeah, especially early on. I mean, the geezer was what, like 17, early. You know, he's in his teens.
So he was just
and you're already
fucked up.
having, like,
I'm so
nervous breakdowns,
confused.
Things like that, like, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he graduated from UCLA School of Fine Arts, and then he
Yep.
went to study film at New York University.
That's a big switch.
Let's talk about some of this guy's first known crimes. You know, his initial
Yeah.
crimes. It's all starting off 1963. Okay, he assaults a woman by hitting her over the head with a coke ball. Not the average crime, but
No, I was gonna say this.
What?
You know, it's the first of what gets, you know, progressively worse and worse. Yeah, this particular case isn't about.
See, it's stuff like that, bro. Like, I don't understand how like as like a police officer or like in like the court system, like how they couldn't see this and go, hey, you know what? We got a report that this nigga was following a girl, beat her over the head. This is a little weird. Maybe we should put this dude somewhere, you know, get him the help that he needs to figure out why he's out here trying to kidnap chicks. Like, what's going on? What was he gonna do to her if she wouldn't have got away? Like, that's all I would have thought about. And until I got that answer, he wouldn't have been free.
A geezer hitting a girl over the head with a coke ball. It
No.
does get worse.
that's just a start. That's just
Yeah.
a little bit of sauce.
Okay, talk to me. What was next? What was after that?
1968. Now, somebody actually witnessed this crime. He pulled up besides an 8-year-old girl called Tali Shapiro.
Okay.
And he tells her to get in the car.
What?
Stranger danger.
She's thinking to herself, she doesn't know this guy, but he's saying he's a family friend. She's thinking, I have to respect my elders. So she actually gets into his car.
Right. Okay. So she gets into the car with Rodney, who essentially said that, hey, look, I'm a family
What,
friend.
chat?
Like, don't worry. And she was raised being taught that she should respect her elders, right?
Yes.
So she
Now,
gets in.
he tells the girl he needs to swing by his apartment. And she, in quotes here, I didn't know to fear people.
And then that's when he realized that we had plenty of time and he was going to swing by and show me a poster. You know, I didn't know to fear people.
Fortunately, a citizen has seen this all happening and followed Rodney and Tali to the apartment. The citizens called the police. Now, Tali has
let's
told ABC as well
go!
that beyond this point, she doesn't remember anything. The police have turned up at the apartment and they think she's dead. You know, there's clothes everywhere, blood everywhere. There's a steel bar across her neck. Things are, you know, it's not looking good right now.
Yeah. And in fact, they actually claimed that she was definitely raped there and beaten as well. So
What
I mean,
the
this is
fuck?
this is brutal stuff, and like it's even grim to just sort of talk about this particular victim in the case and everything. But yeah, like you said, they found her. They thought that she was dead, but she was actually in a coma for about 32 days, and she ended up coming out of that just after that.
He put a
thankfully,
8-year-old
she
in
was
a
alive,
coma?
but, I mean, that is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty gruesome
at
scene.
the age of 8 as well. Like,
The police actually found his university ID. You know, it was under the name Rodney Alcala. It was for the UCLA in the photography department. Also in there, they found a lot of vulnerable photos of, you know, young women and boys.
All that sort of just some twisted guy.
Yeah, not
this
great.
guy was twisted.
Not great stuff.
So that
anyway,
wasn't the first.
Alcala actually evades arrest by going to New York to study film.
Okay, now it's important to know, at the time he goes, you're probably thinking, right, well, how does a bloke who's obviously wanted by the police at this point go across country and end up just studying at a different university? Obviously, we have to remember the time this was back in like 1977. It was a while back, and not only that, but he actually ends up changing his name. So he's gone from Rodney Alcala to John Berger. Now, this Berger is spelled B-E-R-G-E-R, so it's like Berger. Instead of burger, it's Berger.
Could have really got a better name.
Yeah, I wonder why he chose.
What about John Lennon?
That picture looks crazy,
Yeah,
but then
or
again,
John Sandwich.
all pictures from the 60s
Some
look
would
insane.
argue
Everybody looks crazy.
that a burger is a sandwich.
They all look like old serial killers if you look at pictures from back
I
then.
don't know. Anyways, that's a mystery for
Send those
another
people
one.
to prison as well.
Right, okay then. In 1971, he worked a counseling job in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Right, at a camp. And this time, in order to get this particular one, he then changed his name again. Right?
Okay, so he's mixed up this time, but what to?
John Berger.
No, John Berger was the last name.
No, but he's changed it again, John Berger, but this time he realized he spelled burger wrong, so he put a U instead of the E.
No fucking
So
way.
it's now Burger.
No way.
Burger.
He's a big Mac.
He is. He's now a Big Mac. He's upgraded from a cheeseburger to a Big Mac.
I'm like a quarter pounder.
No.
No.
You're like one chicken select.
That is so rude.
Chill out.
I'm at least a cheeseburger.
I'm a mozzarella stick.
You're better than that.
Yeah, thank you. Still in 1971, the FBI has gone and added Alcala, Rodney, to the top 10 most wanted fugitives list. Now, at this point, what happens is in the US, you'll start having, pictures of their face in like, local shops, things like that. Like the top 10 is put all around the place, and that actually ended up working because 2 children who attended his art camps, noticed his face on it and said, I know that bloke. I recognize him. Off the back of that, he was actually arrested in New Hampshire.
What?
Happy days. He's been arrested. That was the location of where he had that art camp.
We've got our man.
Yeah, they've got him, and they brought him all the way back to LA to face charges of rape and attempted murder of
Yeah, I'm
Carly,
still not understanding
which is
Burger.
Obviously fantastic news.
I would have at least went for
but
like.
There's a big but here.
It didn't all go to plan.
It didn't, and what ended up
I don't
happening
even know.
was
That's actually
Carly,
hard. I could see how he got Burger now, because that's hard. I don't know what kind of last name I would choose. I would choose something really weird like Dasani. I don't know. Something stupid. I feel like I would have took somebody else's last name. I would have never chose Burger, though.
The young girl, the victim of this horrible crime, was actually her parents decided to move to Mexico to put her in a safer environment. Look, like, can imagine that's very traumatic. You want to move, you want to get away from everything, right?
So they weren't able to like continue on with the trial.
The parents did say was that they didn't want their daughter to testify against Rodney. And
so they just let him out.
The reason is up to the parents. Obviously at a young age, going through that whole process.
So they're just gonna let this guy go out there and fuck everybody else's daughter.
But
huh?
ultimately,
that's crazy.
The prosecution now has a really weak argument, and they really struggled, and they couldn't actually.
I got a crazy kink in my neck, dude.
All that horrible stuff that was going on in that crime. So what ended up happening was he ended up agreeing to a plea deal, which had an indeterminate sentence, which means that there's no real set amount of time that he goes to prison for. Instead, the way it works is that every year he'll get a review, and depending on whether he's been rehabilitated, things like that, they'll decide, he's okay to go back into society or whatever. The big problem here is this guy's clearly got a lot wrong with him, and some people claim that he was actually like a sociopath, and those people tend to be very manipulative. So in those sort of situations,
which means he probably got out. He probably got out in the first year. They're like, "Oh, this dude's okay."
That's obviously going to be quite easy for someone that is, like we said, he's a smart guy. He's not stupid, right? And then not only that, he's a sociopath. Like, this guy's got a lot of problems, and he had no problem convincing this board that he was actually okay and ready to go back into society.
Oh, Lord. So after about 2.5 years in prison, after Alcala being a model prisoner, is what they said.
Really?
Yeah, he gets out.
How can a guy that's done all those sort of crimes and they go, yeah, he was a model
How do you
prisoner?
get out that fast in 2 years?
Crazy.
Kelly, we're watching the case of the dating game contestant serial killer. It's pretty much right now we're getting all of the background info on his first 2 victims, learning about how he was previously arrested, but now he's actually out, and he was able to get out because he was a model prisoner. So after 2 years, they released him, and that's where we are right now. If you'd like to continue, join in on the conversation, that'd be awesome. We love having you, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's get back to the video.
Crazy, but anyway, gets out. 2 months later, he's already violated his parole. He's given marijuana to a 13-year-old girl.
What the fuck?
So, yeah.
The alarm bells
surprised?
are ringing.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. This guy hasn't even been out for 8 weeks and he's already violated his parole by doing some dodgy thing.
And it sends him back to prison for another 2.5 years, by the way. So this is where the name Dating Game Killer comes into play. Rodney gets out of prison and he somehow manages to swindle himself a little role on, a dating show called Dating Game.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And welcome to the dating game.
Very creative. Like I said, mate, they were creative back in these days.
Yeah.
I mean, class that.
Anyway, so he goes on the show. The idea of the show, I'll give you a quick rundown.
At least he shares his weed.
A woman has to ask questions, the
Fucking
3
weirdo.
contestants, 3 males that she can't see.
Yeah.
In the end, Rodney...
So, what, like, imagine there's a barrier here and you're asking, like, what's your favorite color?
It's like a
that sort of
blind show dating kind of thing. And in the end, Rodney, being the smooth talker that he is, to be honest.
The sociopath.
Oh my God, that dude.
He's managed to actually win.
Bro, he looks like a regular person right there.
He's the winner. He wins a prize, gets a tennis date, and a trip to Magic Mountain.
Say hello to Rodney Alcala. Rodney, come on and say hello. Congratulations, Rod. You did it with a 1 answer. Well, as far as I can see, Cheryl and Rodney, it looks like the 2 of you may be involved in some sort of racket. So we're going to have you take to the court. Oh, first you'll receive tennis lessons from expert Naomi Besa. Then it's off the Magic Mountain, one of America's greatest and most complete amusement parks, with plenty of excitement to challenge any daring dater.
Get a kid again at Magic Mountain.
I would love to go on a tennis date, and mate, you
Not
get to
with
go
Rodney. I would love to go with you.
Okay, I would go with you as well.
Is that what started the do-rag?
I'll go Magic Mountain.
Yeah. All right, will you hold my hand on the rides? At this point, you're probably thinking this date's gonna go terribly wrong.
These niggas wild
well,
right now.
Unfortunately for Rodney, Cheryl, the lovely contestant, ended up meeting up with Rodney backstage and said that she got terrible vibes from him.
Yeah.
Like, it was just all off. She wasn't feeling it at all, so she actually just rejected the date.
Yeah, like
she said, nah, you're weird.
The whole crew as well, everyone was getting bad vibes from the get-go straight.
I'll be perfectly
away.
honest with you. As a dating show, I would highly recommend people to go ahead and check someone's criminal background before going ahead and getting them on the show.
Because they basically were about to send her on a getaway with her,
A
right?
little bit confusing, but it's safe to say, do a little bit of research and maybe have
as soon as she saw him. I didn't even. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't peep it because in my eyes, I just thought about like old school shit. Like she smiled, I was like, oh okay, it was regular. It was weird that he like tried to kiss her. That was kind of off. And then like looked and like they didn't really have any type of conversation. They just like looked forward, like okay, cool, we're here together. I don't know. That's crazy. She looked uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. Chat. Chat's on top of shit today. Hold up.
That's probably not a good start.
Yeah. Like it's just a bit crazy.
Yeah.
A guy that was on the top 10 most wanted FBI list had just walked onto this dating show and gone, I'd love a date.
Yeah. I mean, okay, well, maybe his name doesn't pop up, but his picture has been in the top 10 most wanted.
Yeah.
Like, this is a
but
serial
you saw
killer
that
case.
picture.
So that
we saw that picture, bro. That looks nothing. That does not look like the same guy, bro.
Multiple victims, and let's talk a little bit about some of these victims here. Now, the first one we have is Jill Barcombe in November 10th, 1977.
Okay.
All right. Now, she ran away from home to start a new life in LA. I'm telling you, everyone just seems to move to LA and bad things are happening, man.
Move to LA and die. That shit's crazy.
Yes, she moves to LA and she was found beaten and strangled on a hillside, really close to the Hollywood sign.
Okay.
So
and what's interesting
why is he murdering
the
people?
fact that there was I
thought he just wanted some ass.
Called the Hillside Strangler, and so the police actually thought that it was the Hillside Strangler that had done this. So the case once again just went cold, right? But they found her body in a really bad way. In fact, that her brother actually said that she was completely unrecognizable. right? And this was some sadistic person doing this. It was really tapped.
Damn.
And like I said, the case just went cold.
Next victim, Georgia Wickstead, December 1977.
What?
She's a nurse who worked in cardiac care in Malibu. Now, she was found raped, beaten, strangled to death. Sounds similar to some of the other victims we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
There was blood everywhere. The body was naked, and a handprint was actually found at the scene. But handprint couldn't be matched to anyone.
Pain.
You know, it's always the case,
Look,
right?
it's quite clear that this guy has, like, the strangling seems to be things.
Oh my God.
Raping people seems to be things, and it's just like that's his MO right there.
He's got
It's
way.
pretty
Yeah,
rough.
hey,
and
Bundy
very,
still got
very
it. No
violent.
cap,
So,
Dazza, no cap.
Yeah, it's not great. It's important to note as well, with the Jill, she was 18. Now, this victim, Georgia, she was 27. So we're not talking about underage people here. These are people all overage, which is just quite interesting considering, obviously the first person was Tali, then he was selling marijuana to a 13-year-old. So it's just a bit
Seems
of a
like
switch.
he will just target any
Anyone,
age range.
yeah. There was no
Yeah.
particular
Fucking just
age
a
range
whole
here.
weirdo.
And
But the handprint, though, there's always these little details that just never go anywhere, and you're just like,
pain.
that could be it.
Yeah, that could be it. Anyways, we've got another victim, Charlotte Lamb.
Ooh, okay.
32 years old, and this one was actually done in 1978. Now, she was a legal secretary living in Santa Monica, and she was actually found in the laundry room of an apartment complex.
Oh,
right?
don't tell me you put her in
and
the
again,
washing machine.
Same thing. Raped, beaten, strangled, but she was strangled with a shoelace, which is pretty rogue.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
maybe
a
that
little
was
bit
the only
different.
thing he had there. But yeah, again, she was strangled. But what's weird is it wasn't like anyone's apartment complex. Like, it wasn't her apartment. It was just like a random one that she had no connection to.
Wow. In a laundry room, that's a place where they could have been caught.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and this, yeah, well, easily. Man, this is.
Did they say that her arms were
Anybody could have
folded?
walked in to dry their undies.
Wasn't super private, but then again, same with the Hillside one. Like, you're out on the Hollywood sign. Like, this guy really doesn't care too much
Just
about
get away
it.
with it. Well,
Yeah.
there's no CCTV. Well, probably not any CCTV going about as much.
Certainly not as much as there is nowadays.
Yeah.
You got like a camera on every corner these
What
days.
the
But
fuck?
yeah, it was just a bit of a weird one. It was also important to note that she actually had her arms folded behind her back, and they said she was almost like posed. There, she
Like, was he trying to show like the police, like, look at me?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, you
Like a
remember,
little sign?
he went to uni at UCLA, and he was in the photography. So there's like the photography element here.
Yeah, could be matching up.
Exactly. So
So
yeah,
now
anyways,
he's,
talk
oh
to me
God, are
about
they
the
gonna
next one
find
here,
like a
Jill.
photo
Next
book?
victim.
Because they found that one before where they said they found like a bunch of pictures of like older people that they couldn't match to, not older people, but older victims before the first little girl that they caught in the hotel room. So I'm wondering if he's been like building a collection or something that they're gonna find. Oh my God, this is getting crazy. This is
Jill
getting.
Marie Parento, 1979, June 14th, 1
At
year
least
after
they're getting
Charlotte Lamb,
older,
she
bro.
was found strangled in her apartment. Same kind of vibe, same thing going on.
Yeah.
Not
How
looking
is he
good.
so good?
It really isn't, and it's like these are the ones that they know of. Just think
Yeah.
about. Remember at the beginning we said there was between 8 and 130.
Yeah.
Like, that is insanity. So
I'm trying to
moving on
figure
from
out
there,
how
you
he
then
pulled
had
so many
Robin
women.
Samso, and ultimately
I might
was
need
the
to figure it
victim
out.
here
I need to get some
that
charm.
Sort of unlocked this case a little bit and really helped them out here because there was quite a bit of evidence that was left behind that really helped them out. Robin Samso was a 12-year-old girl from California. Now, on the 20th of June, she
What?
didn't turn up for ballet practice.
Okay, never mind, Sophie. It went from 21 to 12. I was thinking like, okay, maybe he's done with the kids, but we're back to kids now. Jesus Christ, man.
Right, and what happened here was that her friend earlier on in the day said that she'd been approached by a man who wanted to take photos of them, and a neighbor or someone close by had seen that, and as she went up to go and speak to the man, the guy just disappeared, right? And so ultimately what ended up happening was that neighbor created
They
a
just
sketch
keep going,
of what the
Dazza.
man looked like, and it was very similar to Rodney. And what ended up happening was Rodney's parole officer looked at it and went, "That's Rodney Alcala."
Oh, the parole officer
So
clocked him.
Yeah, clocked him straight up.
Good stuff.
And
At least somebody's doing their job.
What ends up happening was that during a search of the family house, they end up finding some keys belonging to some storage, right? And in this storage locker, they found the girl's earrings. The young girl, the 12-year-old.
Robin's.
Yeah, Robin Samso's earrings.
Okay.
Found them. Not only did they find the earrings in this locker, but they found a whole catalog of photographs.
Oh, I knew it! I told y'all.
Dodgy ones.
This fucking
dodgy
weirdo,
ones,
man.
You know, you can only imagine what sort of photos these look like with the sort of victims, and we've already described how they've been killed
God,
and
this
things like
nigga
that.
is sick,
This was
dude.
not a pretty sight whatsoever. And not only that, but these photos took so long to be identified, you know, the people in the photos. So as, you know, they went and they had their trial, which we'll get onto in a second. But during that whole thing, they're still just trying to identify the people in these pictures, reaching out to other people, unsolved cases, being like, is this them?
This has all led to his arrest in 1979 without bail. He's gone to trial in 1980. He's tried, convicted, and sentenced to death, but it was overturned by the California Supreme Court as the jurors were improperly informed of his prior sex crimes.
Could you imagine that? This guy managing to get his thing overturned. But fear not, Chip, because in 1986, the second trial.
This nigga had just been
was
going
nearly
for
exactly the
years,
same.
bro. What the
Except
fuck?
this time, the good news is that they admitted his previous criminal record testimony and was again sentenced to death. He was convicted and sentenced to death again. So thankfully, he didn't get off any lighter here. Look, the guy was given the death penalty, and just because of, you know, a little mistake with some of his prior sex crimes, it didn't change anything. And
This
guy
man is going
didn't get
down.
with it.
He's going down.
He's going down.
Major advances in forensics in more recent times have led to DNA evidence that has tied him to all those California murders. We've got, you know, Barcombe, Wickstead, Lamb, Parento.
I was about to say, like, what was he
combined
pulling
all
out
five
or
of those,
what?
put
Like,
motion forward to combine all five charges to get him done.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That is that's ideal.
Yeah,
and this is what I'm saying. That's what we're talking. Modern day technology has helped save so much of this stuff.
No
I don't want to sit here for 45 minutes to not see this man go down.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine this was unsolved. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But
can change
so
your name. It's
in
so
that
easy.
as well,
It's so
he actually
easy.
decided to represent himself in court, which, if anyone knows, that is a very risky move and
He's
usually
got
not wise.
What was it, 130 something IQ? Yeah. Maybe he just thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this.
Well, do you know what
I
his
can do
defense
better
was?
than them.
What?
That he couldn't remember doing it.
That's fair.
Did you do it?
Didn't happen,
Couldn't
mate.
tell you, mate.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen because I don't remember. Yeah.
What?
Did you
I don't
steal
remember.
the cookie from the cookie jar?
That
Chip?
was
You've
so
heard of
weird.
Jack the
that you
Ripper,
were
right?
thinking about the
Yeah.
cookie. Because I was thinking about a cookie. Did I steal a cookie?
Really? Yeah.
No, I didn't because I don't remember it. And that
Can't nail him if
is
he
a
doesn't
fella's
remember
mystery.
it. We've got Tali. Remember her from way back?
Of course.
Yeah. Now that we're fast forward, you know, this is in 2003.
Yeah.
We actually had Tali come forward and actually decide to testify.
herself, yeah.
Yeah. So because now she's older, she can make.
Because the way I'm thinking, right, Dazza, I'm thinking that he's like, I think that he might actually like the girls a lot at first, and then what happens, right? What happens, I think, is the girls start to realize that he's like mad weird or like something's going on, you know, or like that he just is a weird person, and then they might say something or do something that like pushes him to the edge, where then he's like, he starts to like take it as like, oh shit, they're trying to come at me, you know what I'm saying? And he thinks now like, hey, maybe I should, you know what I'm saying? And like he starts to think, oh, okay, well, they don't like me, you know what I'm saying? They think that I'm weird or they think something's wrong. And then that's why he ends up like killing him. Like maybe it's something like that, you know? Like maybe his intent in the beginning is like literally he just wants to find somebody, you know? But then at the end of thing, he's like like literally, yeah, he flips at the click of a finger.
Decision for herself.
Yeah.
Before
That
her
shit's
parents said
crazy,
they didn't
dude.
want her to go through it and testify,
Yeah.
which obviously was a massive failure for the prosecution's case
Yeah.
way back then.
And then
But
he got
now,
to go on and
he did all this stuff, but at this point now, I think Tali says, right, okay, for myself, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to
go
testify.
fucking
And
testify
that
and save the other
massively helped
kids.
the
Like,
case
what the
because
fuck?
it pushed for the death penalty, and he was back on death row in March 2010.
prosecutors, you know,
He's
they
still
claimed that
alive?
he would actually strangle the victims, you know, let them pass out, and then the crazy bit here is wait for them to actually wake back up before killing them. Like,
That
Like,
is so weird.
That's what I'm
pretty sick
saying.
and
He would
twisted.
wait
If
for
you
them
guys
to
ever
wake up,
think,
see
you
if
know,
they change their
you have a
mind, and then he would kill
listen
them.
to the list.
I think that's
that
exactly
this
what will
bloke
happen.
has, right?
Okay.
So a psychiatrist expert at his trials claimed that he had narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, malignant narcissism, and psychopathy and sexual sadism comorbidities.
Lord have mercy. Can I spell most of those words? Probably not.
Mate, imagine you go to a psychiatrist, they're like, yeah, okay, so there's a few things wrong with you, mate. If you don't mind waiting 45 minutes while I read out the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's safe to say this guy had a lot of problems.
And I mean, when we were talking about how he lets his victims come back to life, could be seen as a little bit of a hero complex. That's what they said. You know, he gets off on the idea of, you know, saving his victims, and then he just brutally murders them.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, look, I can bring you back to life, but I'm in the
Power.
charge of your fate. Yeah.
I almost wish that like people like this, and when stuff like this happen, I wish they had to go on record, like for the public, and like we got an actual story on why they did what they did, like from their mouth. You know what I mean? Like how we can go back and see the documentaries of like Jeffrey Dahmer and like all that kind of stuff. Like I want to hear like right before he's about to be like killed or whatever on death row. I want to hear like what it was for him that this whole like mission that he was on was, you know?
Like a next level power trip.
I don't get the waiting years. A lot of times they have to do like a sentence thing. Like you have to like live out a certain amount of time like in jail or whatever, you know? And then after that point, then they can kill you, you know? Like they got to get the work out of you before they kill you type shit. If that makes sense. Like the free labor, the money, things like that.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember those photos that we were talking about earlier?
The ones from the locker?
Yes. Now, they actually led to a revelation, the murder of Christine Ruth Thornton, okay?
Right.
So she's gone missing in 1977. And, well, yeah, she was strangled. Just same MO. Same MO. Her sister recognized her from the photo portfolio. And her body was actually identified super recently, 2015.
That is, I mean, it's in a way it's great that obviously there's, you know, there's maybe some closure here, or, you know, just getting a bit more information about this, but
that's like we said earlier, out there that we have no idea about.
Monique Hoyt.
Oh yeah, chat. I'm probably gonna end up having to go after this video. When I got off originally, okay, check the door, blah blah blah, but check my phone. I gotta go meet with the fucking contractor at the rent house at 4. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, I'll get back to y'all. I'm sorry, but your boy will be here tomorrow morning, so make sure you're here.
Was another person that was identified from the photos as well, and she
we're
said
not
that she
raiding
came
Callum's
forward,
corner.
And during a photo shoot, she was knocked unconscious and was sexually assaulted.
Wow, but she's actually survived.
Yeah,
the
she
encounter.
wasn't killed, and you don't know why, but you know she's obviously very fortunate in a weird way that she wasn't.
I mean, we
killed.
hope
A lot of
so.
people were, but obviously still going through what she went through is absolutely horrific. And unfortunately, Pamela Lamson was another victim, and she was actually assaulted and killed. And DNA evidence was so degraded and messed up and, you know, unusable.
Bro, what did they be?
So they couldn't get a match. Which
Does
was
he
a bit
just go into a rage and just be beaten? Like, what is going on,
She lived in
bro?
Manhattan. Her family couldn't find her. The police have gone searching for her. They find her in an apartment, raped and strangled by nylon stockings. Like we spoke about, he did the shoelace. He used a shoelace.
Yeah, he seems to just use whatever.
Whatever he can get his hands on. It seems
the
like
guy just used what.
But
I
it
guess
always
was
seems
available
to be a strangling.
Yeah, it's true. Not only that, but we have one last one. Ellen Hoover, right? New York. Okay, and on
How
July
did she get her
15th,
hair like that?
She goes missing.
That's kind of cool.
And what ends up happening is the detectives find in her calendar that she had an appointment with John Berger for a photography session.
Yeah, photography, right?
Exactly, remember that.
We're on to
now, finally, the FBI have made the dots, put the string, the little
Finally,
red
the
string
FBI
from
is
one
like,
to
hey, let's
another.
work, you know?
Yeah, and they've realized that Rodney Alcala is the same person as John Berger.
Crazy. I could have told him that. I got it right here.
And that appointment was on the day that she went missing. So obviously something was connecting here. The police tried to actually have John Berger take a polygraph test, which is just a lie detector test. And he said, nah, don't want to take one. And then ultimately, because it was all just circumstantial evidence, they just had to let him go, which is a big stinker, unfortunately, for the police. But yeah, look, a year later, her body was found by the Rockefeller estate in New York.
Ooh.
Okay. And what ended up happening when that information came out, another model had come forward and said, yeah, that's where John Berger had taken me previously for a photo shoot.
Oh shit!
So it all really did line
that
up.
was just adding up, you know.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
Exactly. And once again, this was all because of these photos. These photos
I want to know what.
key.
God,
Two
dude,
of
I
these
hate
cases,
stuff like this because I'm like,
after the photos,
I can only
ended up tagging them
imagine,
another
bro, if we had
25
DNA
years
evidence like how we do
onto his
now.
Sentence.
Deserved.
Oh my God,
mean,
dude, I want to know,
that's
like,
enough.
what did he
Nice
get
one.
away
Rodney.
with?
Rodney Berger, whatever you want to
Berger
call that.
and Berger.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's where we're at right now. He's 77 years old. He's still in prison. There's hopefully no chance of this man coming out.
Oh, we hope not.
I don't care if he's a model prisoner or not. He ain't coming out. Don't let him come out, because if he does, then we could be on the list, lad.
He's probably 77. He's probably gonna pop his clogs in the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
most likely.
mean, yeah, it's rough. But yeah, I mean, as you guys know, this was a pretty graphic case. It's a grim case. It's not nice for anyone.
It's not nice
but look,
at all,
ultimately he's
period.
behind bars, and that is the
Shit is just
story of
weird.
the dating game
Killer.
killer. So, as always, Chip, what do they need to do?
You need to subscribe.
Bro, as always, y'all need to subscribe, bro. Y'all need to like, man. The boys deserve all your attention, all right? Make sure you guys go over there, man. Love on them a little bit, all right? Watch these videos, man. Remember, 6 o'clock every Monday, baby. We ready. It's heat. It's heat every time, man, all right? I love you guys so much, man. Again, thank you guys so much for giving me your time, for tuning in with me. Hey, if you made it over here to the Young live stream, you got to see this down live. Thank you again so much. Don't forget, every day, we out here. Pull up. Peace.